You've been feeling it in your chest, like a soft ache that never really goes away. A whisper in your soul that grows louder when the world falls silent. Something is unfolding, but it's hidden, almost sacred. The angels say, he thinks about you when the room is still. When no one is watching, when no one expects anything from him, that's when your name echoes the loudest. This connection didn't arrive with clarity or reason. It came as a feeling, as recognition, as surrender. And even now, though he may not say it, he feels what you feel. He was not looking for love when you entered his life. He wasn't even aware of what his heart still needed to heal. And yet, your presence did something words could never do. It awakened something ancient in him. A longing buried under years of survival. You weren't just someone he noticed. You were the moment his soul remembered what it came here for. He doesn't know how to label what you are to him. But the angels do. They call you the whisper God placed on his path to lead him back home to himself. And even now, as he tries to quiet those feelings with silence, you're the one thing he can't unfeel. The one presence that never fades, no matter how far he tries to run. The angels say, this silence is not absence. It's preparation. Because before the promise, there must be the unveiling. Before the vows, the sacred recognition. Before the return, the revelation of what the silence held captive all along. You were sent into his life not to please him, not to chase him, not to be chosen, but to remind him. Remind his heart of the sound it made before it was broken. Remind his soul of the softness he had forgotten how to receive. And remind him that love, real love, does not demand, it reveals. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2 verse 10. He's not distant because he doesn't care. He's distant because something inside him trembles at the thought of being fully seen. The angels say, he carries wounds too old for words, and yet your presence brings them to the surface. You were never a threat. But love like yours demands truth. And truth is something he's not used to holding without shaking. There were moments, maybe brief, maybe in passing, when you felt the wall go up. A message left unanswered. A gaze that avoided yours. A pause that lasted too long. That wasn't rejection. That was protection. He learned to survive by staying hidden. Love to him meant exposure. It meant risk. It meant losing control. And there you were, light, open, real. Not asking him to change. Just being. And that frightened him more than anything. The angels want you to understand. He wasn't taught how to feel safely. He was taught to numb, to detach, to intellectualize. And love, especially one as deep and disarming as yours, short-circuits those defenses. He sees you. Not just your smile, but the way your heart aches to be chosen. He knows it. And that knowing makes him hesitate. Because choosing you would mean unlearning a lifetime of silence. The walls he built weren't to keep you out. They were built long before you arrived, designed to keep his own pain buried. But now, your love is rearranging the architecture of his soul. And though he doesn't say it, he feels it. Deeply. Constantly. The angels say, you are the mirror he fears and needs. The truth he prays for and resists. And in this space between longing and fear, the heart often hides. Not because it wants to, but because it doesn't know how else to protect itself. Let his pauses be sacred. Let his distance speak. Because behind every silence is a story that never found the words, until now. You were never meant to carry both your heart and his healing. The angels say, your light is meant to shine, not burn out trying to warm someone else's cold. You have given. Without asking. Waited. Without demanding. Loved, even when it was lonely. But let this be your reminder, your soul is sacred ground. And no love, no bond, no promise deserves to drain your radiance to keep itself alive. He is in process. Yes. But so are you. You're learning to draw boundaries without closing your heart. To choose yourself without shutting the door. To remain open without becoming empty. The angels show a vision, you surrounded by light, but leaning forward, trying to reach into someone else's shadow to pull them into clarity. But you were not sent to save him. You were sent to embody your wholeness, so that he remembers his. There will be moments when you feel like fading to match his grayness. To go quiet so you don't disturb his wounds. To dim your joy so it doesn't overwhelm his sorrow. But don't. Your light is not too much. Your presence is not too intense. Your love is not a burden. Let him adjust his eyes. Let him learn to stand in the brightness. Because if love costs you your essence, it is not love, it's just an echo of your old survival patterns asking to be healed. The angels say, rest, beloved. Replenish. Receive. He needs time, yes. But so do you. Time to remember what it feels like to be full, even when he feels absent. To feel joy without guilt. To feel peace without performing. To belong to yourself before you belong to anyone else. Let your care for him begin by caring for you. He looks at you and sees the parts of himself he spent years avoiding. The angels whisper, she didn't come to complete him. She came to awaken what he buried. There's something about the way you move, authentic, open, deeply rooted in who you are, that feels both magnetic and terrifying to him. You represent truth. And truth, when it's been silenced for too long, doesn't come gently. It comes like a mirror, unfiltered, undeniable. Every time you speak from your heart, you stir his silence. Every time you stay true to your essence, you chip away at his armor a little bit. This isn't about you fixing him. It's about you being yourself, and that being the very medicine his soul needs. He's not used to being truly seen. Not without putting on a show. Not without pretense. And yet you see him, beyond what he presents, beneath what he says. You see the boy who never felt enough. The man who wears control like a shield. The heart that longs to be held, but doesn't know how to reach out for it. And when you don't flinch, when you don't pull away, it disarms him. The angels say, you are the mirror of mercy. The reflection of the love he never thought he deserved. This is why he pulls back. Not because you're wrong, but because you're genuine. And authenticity demands he look at himself through your eyes. Eyes that don't judge. Eyes that don't punish. Eyes that simply say, I see you. Even here. Especially here. Let him grapple with what he sees. That's part of the grace you offer. You are not the trigger. You are the invitation. To confront. To feel. To remember. He doesn't know why, but he can't stop thinking about you. The angels say, something is changing in him, and it started the moment your soul touched his. He feels it now. In the quiet moments. In the space between responsibilities. In the soft grief that rises unexpectedly. This isn't just missing you. This is something deeper. Older. Sacred. He used to be confident about everything. And now with you, there are questions that refuse to settle. He hears your laughter in his mind. Sees your softness when he closes his eyes. And what once felt manageable, now feels like longing. Because there's a whisper in his spirit that says, you are home with her. The angels reveal that his awakening didn't start with thunder. It began with your gentleness. Not with pressure, but with presence. Not with demands, but with devotion. He's beginning to understand that love isn't the chaos he once thought it was. It's the calm he's afraid to trust. And still here you are, unwavering in your truth. He notices things now. How your silence holds more than most people's words. How your patience speaks louder than his avoidance. And somewhere inside, a seed is breaking open. The angels whisper, what you awakened cannot return to sleep. He may not speak it aloud. But something is growing in the garden of his heart, and your essence is the rain. This isn't just attraction. It's remembrance. And slowly, gently, he is waking up. He leaves, then comes back. Then drifts again. Then finds his way to you like nothing happened. The angels say, he is not playing with you. He is wrestling with himself. You feel it, the hope when he returns, the ache when he withdraws. The cycle, the dance, the confusion. It makes you question your worth. Makes you wonder if love is supposed to hurt like this. But hear this, you are not the instability. You are the anchor he's not yet learned to hold. This is not your failure. This is his fear. Every time he comes close, something deep in him stirs, a part that remembers, a part that wants, a part that still doubts he deserves it. And so he runs. Not from you, but from the reflection of who he could become beside you. This is a soul learning to shed old skins. And sometimes, the shedding looks like silence. Like distance. Like pretending not to care. But underneath, he's unraveling. The angels say, each time he returns with less fear and more truth. This pattern is not punishment. It's process. Because before a heart can stay, it must first believe it's safe. You cannot rush his healing. But you can hold your boundaries with love. Let him find his rhythm, but don't lose yours waiting. Let him search for clarity, but don't dim your light to guide him. Because when his soul is ready, it won't waver. And that day is coming. He doesn't know how to name it, but he feels better when he thinks of you. The angels say, your love has touched places inside him he thought were beyond repair. Not because you tried to fix him, but because you never asked him to be anyone other than who he is. You didn't come to heal his wounds, but your presence made them less loud, less sharp, less defining. You made him feel like he could breathe again, and that alone is holy. He may not say it. He may never express the words you long to hear. But when life gets heavy, when the old patterns threaten to pull him under, it's your energy he searches for. Not to solve his pain, but to remember what it feels like to be seen. Your love is not noise. It is a frequency, one that steadies him in his chaos. And though he may seem detached or slow in his response, the angels show that he clings to how your love feels. Safe. Steady. True. He doesn't trust it yet. But he wants to. Because something in him knows, you are not the storm. You are the shelter. The angels say, love does not always need a witness to do its healing. Even in silence, your heart has been a balm. Even in absence, your essence remains medicine. And even if he walks away again, what he felt with you will echo. Because real love, true, steady, patient love, leaves fingerprints on the soul. And yours are still there. Nothing has been random. Not the timing. Not the distance. Not even the ache. The angels say, every detour was part of the sacred choreography. You are exactly where you're meant to be. You've questioned why it couldn't be easier. Why love, if meant to be, must pass through so much silence. So much waiting. But heaven's language is not urgency, it is timing. And right now, the divine is weaving together what your heart can't yet see. He is being led, just like you. But his path curves through shadows yours has already faced. The angels whisper, trust the delay. It is not denial. Every pause has purpose. Every silence carries seeds. Because love that lasts is not built in a rush, it's built in surrender. And you, beloved, are not forgotten. You are being prepared. God has not overlooked your longing. He's refining it, so that when love returns, it will be clear, clean, unmistakable. You may feel alone, but you've never walked alone. There are unseen hands that have caught your tears, wings that have hovered over your nights. And now, the path begins to shift. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Hold that promise close. Because soon, what was unclear will make sense. And what felt distant will arrive. He wants to love you, but his soul still flinches at the cost. The angels say, he is standing at the edge, not of rejection, but of surrender. You may see his quiet, his hesitation, and think it's doubt. But it's not. It's the weight of feeling too much, too fast, for someone who was taught to feel nothing at all. He's been strong his whole life. Not the kind of strength that inspires, but the kind that hides, that survives. And now, beside your softness, he is beginning to break. Not into pieces, but into honesty. He doesn't know how to say, I'm scared to need you. So he distances, retreats, protects. But the angels show that when he closes his eyes, it's your face that softens the fear. You are the home his wounds never imagined. He is not cold. He is cautious. Because you awakened a tenderness he buried long ago. And with tenderness comes risk. The risk of being seen. Of being touched in places that never knew gentleness. He may not be ready yet. But he is nearer than you think. The angels say, love doesn't rush the heart. It waits outside the door until it's invited in. So let him take the time. Let him tremble. Let him come undone. Because only then can he choose you, not out of longing, but out of readiness. And when he does, he will not love you halfway. He will love you from the place that once believed love was impossible. It was never about control. It was always about trust. The angels say, what is yours will not pass you by. It will find you, healed. You've held hope like breath in your chest, tight, trembling, sacred. You've asked for signs, for closure, for clarity. And all along, heaven whispered back, release. Release the idea of how it should look. Release the timeline. Release the fight to be chosen. Because what is truly yours does not demand you twist yourself into less. You have loved without condition. Waited without bitterness. Given without fear. And now, you are being asked to receive. Not as a reward, but as remembrance. That love, real love, meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. He may return. Or he may stay distant until his soul is ready. But you? You no longer wait with longing. You wait with knowing that nothing has been wasted. That your light has never been too much. That this path, winding, raw, miraculous, was always leading you home. The angels say, you are already enough. Not because he loves you, but because you remembered to love yourself first. And now, let the heart rest. Let the soul exhale. Because what is meant to stay will stay. And what is meant to go will go without wounding what's sacred in you. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You only have to be. He sees it now. And whatever happens next, love will find you. Whole. Worthy. Ready.